My MasterChef mate, Harry Butterfield, is joining us today, and we're going to be cooking a gorgeous snapper. Look how fresh this is. It doesn't get any fresher, does it?
Looks amazing. Like, the eyes are super clear,
Yeah.
smells beautiful. So today we're going to whole fry this snapper in the wok, and then I'm going to do a crying tiger sauce. So tamarind, we got fish sauce, we got some fresh herbs, garlic. Super punchy but light, and I think it's just going to pair perfect with the fried snapper.
Delicious. So how can I help?
So we'll make the sauce first.
Okay.
So if you want to start pounding up some toasted glutinous rice,
Right.
that's going to give us like a really earthy, nutty sort of flavour to the sauce.
Okay.
Also help thicken it.
So what we've just done here is just toasted it in a pan.
Toasted it, yeah, a couple of minutes. Just keep it moving around until it's like nice and golden brown.
Okay.
The further you take it, the more of like a nuttiness you're going to get.
Okay, and you're happy with, so that colour is what we're after?
100%, that's perfect. I'll just chop up some garlic and some chilli.
Okay. So why does it get the name Crying Tiger, this dressing?
You've got a couple of different things. One of them was that the tiger missed out on the sauce and then it cried because it was sad.
Okay.
Another one that I've read is that it was too hot for the tiger and the tiger, it cried, it was too spicy. So, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Anyway, I like the name of it. It sticks, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's actually such an easy sauce too.
And goes really well with seafood.
It goes with everything. I put it with beef, pork,
Yep.
chicken, seafood.
All right, how's this looking here?
Yep, that's perfect, yeah. I kind of like it a little bit chunky because then you get those nice little crunchy pops when you're eating it. So I'm just going to mince my garlic with the back of my knife here. So I'll cover it in some sea salt and that's just going to help kind of macerate the salt. And then just massage it with the back of your knife. That's all good.
Okay.
We'll chuck that in the bowl now.
Right.
If you want to start maybe prepping some coriander,
love to.
and we'll do the whites of the spring onion too.
Cool, okay.
So I've got a shallot here. Dice that as well.
And how do you want this, just finely chopped?
Even just straight across, we get nice little
rounds?
rings. Yeah.
Rings,
I think
easy.
when the garlic and the shallot and the chilli, they'll be quite finely diced.
Yeah.
Having just another texture in there and another, shape, I think is cool.
Absolutely. And we're chopping coriander for the sauce?
Yeah, yep, if you can.
Okay, finally chopping some coriander.
Sometimes even chuck a few stems in there, but we've
Yes.
got so many beautiful herbs in here. I think there'll be enough crunch and enough texture.
Go. Is this too much? Save some for...
We'll save a little bit for the garnish.
Okay, just about
so
that
maybe
much.
half, yeah.
There we go.
Beautiful. All right, perfect. Now, we won't waste the greens of the spring onion. That's going to be the garnish there. So we'll just, slice them nice and fine and we'll chuck them in some ice water to get them nice and curly and cool presentation.
How great is this? I never waste them anymore. Okay, yes, it does take a little bit of time, but once you see the results, it just elevates any type of dish. So you just sort of cut them in half. I'm going to cut them in half again. And once they're finely sliced, you pop them into some super chilled water and they curl up. Great presentation.
So once we're finished with the herbs and the chilli, we'll
Yes.
measure out our fish sauce. We're going to go, let's just start with 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and we'll go equal amounts of tamarind paste.
Okay. Fish sauce is quite strong, so it is one of those things where you pop all the ingredients in, taste, and then correct it as you go. The sweet, the sour, the salty.
Cool. So we'll go tamarind paste now.
Yep.
Same amount, roughly. Again, we're going to be tasting it.
Yep.
So I'll do 2 nice little spoons of that, maybe an extra one for good luck. And we'll give that a nice little mix. Oh, I forgot a very key ingredient. The palm sugar.
Palm sugar,
so I'll put that in now as well. All right, palm sugar in. Justine, if you can finish this off, we're going to go 2 or 3 tablespoons of the glutinous rice. We're going to put a lime in there and then a little bit of water too, just to adjust the consistency. And I'm going to score up our fish and we'll get it in this hot oil to fry. It's beautiful fresh snapper. So we'll just do 2, maybe 4 scores down the fish here.
And why are you scoring the fish?
We're scoring the fish just so it cooks a bit more evenly.
Yeah.
Because the hot oil, it will cook quite, quickly. By scoring it, it's just going to penetrate down to where the bones are and, the flesh along the bones, which typically if you are cooking a whole fish, that's what takes the longest.
Yeah. And what other substitutes for snapper if you can't find snapper? What else could we use?
If you can't find snapper, I'd just say any white flesh fish.
Yeah.
I'd avoid things like trout or salmon or anything like that. Snapper, barramundi,
Baby barramundi.
whiting. If you want to just do a 2-person dinner, get a couple of whiting and it'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome. All right, well, that's smelling and looking really nice.
A little water. How much water?
That's probably enough, just to sort of loosen it up.
Yep.
And then we'll give it a taste. If it needs a bit more, punchiness and saltiness, we can add some fish sauce.
Delicious.
The crunch of the glutinous rice.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
That
super
is
unique.
Just right. All right, pop that to the side.
Awesome. So our fish, we're gonna give this a nice season with salt. Making sure you get like right into all those scores.
Yeah.
I'm very big on seasoning and just like almost over seasoning, because when you cook proteins, a lot of that seasoning comes off unless you're like pre-seasoning it.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can go too much salt here.
It's a big snapper, so it does need that seasoning for sure.
Definitely, yeah. So we're just getting it into all those little cuts as well, and also in the cavity here too.
Great.
Cool, and now a little bit of pepper.
Pepper, yes.
Thank you.
Straight over the top.
We go both sides. Even open it up, we can, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
All right, and now it's as easy as just dusting it in some corn flour.
Okay.
This can get a little bit messy, so. But again, like you can use your hands. This is a very home-style dish.
Absolutely. And corn flour is the best for you. Use just plain. I mean, you could use plain flour, but the corn flour is the traditional way of doing this.
Yeah, and like you could also blend a few different, starches and stuff to get it really crispy. But I'm just trying to make it easy for everyone to follow along at home.
Yeah.
I'm all about simplicity. If I was cooking this at home, I'm just doing corn flour. I'm not gonna, go potato style.
Yeah, it achieves what we're after, which is that crispy skin, and you don't want to be tasting the flour at all, and that's why corn flour is such a great option for something like this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're putting it through in the cavities.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it like all through these cavities here.
Yep.
That way, like when you do rip one of these little chunks out to eat, it's gonna be nice and crispy everywhere, not just on that skin.
Yep.
We're gonna go in here very carefully.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm gonna lay it away from us.
Yep.
So we'll just drop it in. It's okay if this tail sticks out.
Yeah.
As it cooks, we can move it along. That part of the fish is so thin. We're gonna cook this for 8 to 10 minutes or until golden. You can test it with the skewer, give it a poke. If you get any resistance, keep going a little bit more.
Nice. Crispy indeed.
Oh yeah, it's crispy as. You can actually hear it when I'm picking it up.
Yeah, wow.
So straight on the plate. Yum.
It's certainly a dish to do if you want to impress someone, right?
For sure, yeah. Well, it's impressive, but it's so easy.
Yes.
Like the sauce, there's no cooking involved. That fish took, 8 to 10 minutes, if that.
Love it.
Yep, and we're just gonna spoon over our crying tiger sauce, getting it all into those little cracks and divots. The best part is when you finish this top side, you get to flip it over and you got all the juicy bits down the bottom.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just gonna put that all around the fish.
Great colours too, isn't it? Stunning. And we've got our spring onion tops and a little extra coriander. No coriander was wasted here. Shake that water off. But just that cold water, look how fresh everything stays. Where would you like that? Down
Straight
the
on top. Yeah, I reckon if you can get a bit of that on every mouthful, that is a winning combination in my mind.
This is my type of food. I love this.
I actually even think maybe just finish it with a little bit of olive oil.
Olive oil? Why not?
I just think like a little bit of fattiness, because the sauce is kind of light.
Tiny little...
Just a little drizzle.
Yep. So chefy, Harry.
Well, like finishing with olive oil, it just makes the dish look so special because it's glistening when you put it down on the table.
I love that. Well, it's cooled down slightly because it did rest on the rack. Shall we have a taste?
100%. Let's do it. Ladies first.
Oh, I don't know where to start. I'm going right here. Look at this. Oh, cooked to perfection.
Look at that.
Wow. The glutinous rice in that dressing is just perfect. I think a lot of people are intimidated by cooking a whole fish at home, but you can see it's actually really easy. There's very little labour. As long as you've got a big wok to fry in, you're careful with that oil. It's as simple as a bit of flour in there, 8 to 10 minutes, it's cooked. Serve it with an epic sauce like Harry's delicious Crying Tiger. 10 out of 10.
Happy days.
Cheers.